welcome to Case Closed. I'm Tracy Perry, your host. We'll soon go inside an actual courtroom in the Warren District Court to look at real small claims cases in action. Now, under Michigan law, small claims cases may be brought by individuals seeking $3,000 in damages or less. Neither side may be represented by an attorney in small claims court, and the judge's decision is final. Now for the case of the renovation in ruins.
Ms. Morello, this is your case. What are you asking for?
I'm asking for court costs and the cost to complete the job that he did not complete.
The job he did not do. Well, what job was he supposed to do?
I have the contract.
All right, that'll help. What type of work? Why don't you
Renovations.
Bring me the contract. You said renovations?
Yes.
Renovations to
House.
what? To a house.
Renovations. Rental property.
Okay, bring me the contract. I mean, any specific renovations or the whole house or what?
It's all listed out by room.
All right, I need to see this thing. Bring it up. All right, this is a estimate, and there's a whole lot of work that's going to be done here for the total price being $10,623.32. And you were going to rent the property after it was renovated, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And you're saying he did a bad job?
Some of it had to be redone, and some of it just wasn't completed. The job was supposed to be completed on August 30th.
Does it say that on here?
Yes.
Where does it say that?
Page, at the bottom.
Installed, house will be clean and in move-in condition when job is completed on it before August 30th. 50% deposit, 25% balance on August 12th, balance upon completion. How much did you end up paying him?
$9,800.
So you paid him virtually all of it?
Yes, because the final payment, the day that it happened, he did not complete it by August 30th. He explained that the cabinets were back ordered or something happened with that, and that it would be longer. So on September 16th, we had met at the property. We went over the things that still had to be done. It was a Friday. He said he had to pay his crew, and that if I could pay him, he would finish the balance on his own. And so I paid him all of it except the $500.
Okay, even though you didn't have to?
Well, I know that I trusted him. I trust that he was going to finish
The
it.
terms of this proposal are that you pay 50% up front,
I did that.
another 25% on August 12th,
Correct.
and the balance upon completion. It wasn't completed on August 30th, right?
No,
You paid him anyway,
on September 16th.
on September 16th.
Correct.
How did you come up with $3,000?
I had another contractor finish the work and to fix the work that wasn't done properly.
Do you have any bill or anything, or any
I
sort
have
of?
all the canceled checks, the bill, pictures. The city of Warren came through and inspected the property as well.
Well, what did you have this new contractor do specifically?
Specifically, I have a list of the stuff that wasn't complete and then the stuff that had to be redone.
Let's see what you have. Well, there's a lot here. How much did you pay this other contractor?
I paid the other contractor $3,965. I have the bill for that as well.
Well, we'll just go through some of this here. It says the following as of today, September 30, 2011, are the parts of your estimate that are incomplete. Front room, screen doors missing. Tile for front door areas not done. Plug and switch covers missing. Various areas need trim. Minor patchwork and painting around the window and in the entryway. Dining room, bay window was not cleaned up, needs to be sealed and trimmed out. Trim pieces, plug and switch covers are missing. Minor patchwork needs to be complete. Bathroom. Plumbing to sink was not hooked up. It appears there is pipe missing, so cannot use sink. No light fixture in bathroom. Not even sure if electricity works in this room. Plug and switch covers are missing. Front bedroom. Trim around bedroom and closet doorways missing, and there is no closet door. Plug and switch covers are missing. Back bedroom. Trim around bedroom and closet Trim around bedroom and closet doorways missing, and there is no closet door. Plug and switch covers are missing. Access panel door and floor to crawl space missing. Can't see under house through floor in this room. Hallway. Floor trim is missing. Kitchen, missing dishwasher. Stove does not work. Electric burners are missing. Plumbing under sink leaks. Missing backsplash and paint tile for wall with cabinets on it above backsplash. Plug and switch covers are missing. Back room. Landing floor is not tiled in or carpeted. There is no trim around back door. The door off back room that goes down to basement is missing, and there's no trim around this doorway. Plug and switch covers are missing. Back room 2, minor patchwork and paint, missing trim for doorway window. Can't see outside wood around windows and floor. Plug and switch covers are missing. No drywall or insulation up the stairs to the door. Can't see wall studs. Electricity does not work in back room 2, or front bedroom. Not sure if electricity works in bathroom as there are no light fixtures installed. Missing heat and air vents throughout the house. No inspection of the air conditioning and furnace was done. Doorknobs missing on all doors throughout the house except entry door and back exit door. Missing various doors throughout houses detailed above. And some of this didn't copy. Have pictures of all the repairs that need to be completed at this current time. If I do not hear from you by Monday, I will pursue getting work completed by someone else and will send you the bill for these repairs.
Okay, so the plaintiff hired the defendant to do a bunch of renovations on a home that she had for rental. And it seems he left a huge laundry list of items that he didn't complete. Let's hear his side of the story.
All right, well, Mr. Fournier, what do you have to say?
First and foremost is that A&B Properties is suing me as a person, but yet there were no checks written to me as a person. I would expect that my company name be listed on that.
Well, did you ever have a contract signed?
I don't believe we have anything signed.
You have this estimate,
Correct.
Team Craftsman.
Correct.
That's your company?
Yes, it
What
is.
type of company is it?
Pardon me?
What type of company is it?
Handyman Service.
No, I mean, what type of legal entity is it?
LLC.
Okay? And how are you related to the LLC?
I'm the owner.
Okay. But you do all the work.
Not all the work, no.
Do you have people working for you?
Yes, I do,
Is
as
the
well as
LL
contract out,
I'm sorry, what?
as well as contract out parts of jobs.
Okay. Well, you don't have a contract signed, so it's not clear who the agreement was with. You have the estimate. It does say Team Craftsman, but nothing is signed.
Her checks were signed to Team Craftsman.
I'm sorry, what?
Her checks were made payable to Team Craftsman.
Okay. Any reason why you sued him instead of Team
He
Craftsman?
endorsed the back of them. I have copies.
Okay. All right, go ahead, sir. What about the work?
The work, as far as the work goes, I can understand how a punch list like that might look a little overwhelming, but when you send a crew back to do a job, there's really not a whole lot that's involved in putting most of that stuff together.
Okay.
The day that she paid me the balance of the that she didn't need to pay me at the end of the job, there was an issue where she had tenants moving into the home, and there was a verbal agreement that no one was going to move into the home until we were done because we had tools and supplies on the job site. The Friday that we showed up to do most of the work as far as the tile and things like that go, she had tenants moving things into the garage. They had knocked over one of our wet saws and busted that wet saw. There was other things that were missing from the job site that we had supplied, such as like a screen door, miscellaneous trim, things of that nature, which we could not find. She showed up with her husband, and I was very adamant when I told them that, you know, we were under agreement, and even though we're running late, no one was supposed to be here, and we still had people coming in and out. That's why TVs were in the house and walls were banged up from them moving in. But she assured me they didn't have any keys, but I'm sure that the lockbox code was probably given to them in order for them to get their materials into the house. Her husband had no idea that there was anybody, or at least that the person that was moving into the house, being just got on parole, was moving into the house. But anyway, they still moved in. And I told them that I would not be coming back under the understanding is you guys busted my wet saw and taking materials here. I wouldn't be coming back until it was replaced. And that was the way we ended our conversation on a Friday.
What day was this?
That was on the Friday that she wrote that check.
In September?
Yes.
What day was that again, ma'am?
16.
So, okay, what about that?
Nobody had access to the property. When we had a conversation when the property wasn't going to be completed by August 30th, that we could access the garage so that we didn't have to pay another month of storage. And no work was being done in the garage, nothing was being stored in the garage. The garage didn't even lock. It had a door on it, but it didn't even lock, or there were no keys to it. And he said, that's fine, you know, I said, and that was the only thing anybody had access to was the garage itself. Nobody had access to the house. And then he also claimed that, well, tools were missing and things were broken and all this stuff. Nothing was ever notified about any of that until until we went to mediation.
I'm still, tell me about, I'm still not clear why you stopped work.
I told them, being that they had someone bringing their stuff into the house, that they weren't supposed to be in there with a $1,000 wet saw getting knocked over and busted, and tools that would have been missing, that we wouldn't be coming back until they replaced them. I couldn't have my tools or my material on a job site. We did actually go back the following Monday. I took one other guy with me on that Monday. When we got there, the keys were not in the lockbox, so we couldn't even get into the home. We went to the garage, we got the rest of our tools what tools were left, should I say, and we took those tools home, and after doing the inventory on them, we were missing all kinds of stuff.
Was there an understanding that the work was to be done by August 30th?
Yes, there was.
Why wasn't it done by then?
We had a problem with cabinets not coming in on time, which she was made aware of, things like that, so it was gonna be behind schedule till the material showed up.
But according to what I read earlier, there are a whole lot of other things that needed to be done than just put in some cabinets.
That's correct.
Why weren't those other things done?
We put that off and go back and do it all in about 2 or 3 days instead of having guys over there sporadically doing miscellaneous things.
It wasn't supposed to be done by August 30th?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so why not?
Like I said, I wasn't gonna send guys over there for 3 or 4 days when I could wait for the cabinets to come in. There's other work that could be done, but I wasn't gonna send guys in there for a day today and then go back 2 days next week and 2 days the following week.
When did these people start storing stuff in the garage?
That Labor Day weekend, which would have been the September 1st, 2nd, and the stuff was in the garage. He put the doors, the entry door and exit doors and the locks, he put all that on there. I didn't even have keys to the property. And
You don't know
said
how
he
his wet
put-
saw got damaged, do you?
No, I have no idea. He said he left it in the garage, is what he said when, at mediation. He said it
That's
was
where
in
the
the
wet
garage.
saw was, in the garage, where she told people she could move stuff into.
Well, some of
That's
these,
where it was busted.
well, some of these people probably were moving stuff into the garage and knocked it over.
I'm sure of that.
Do you think that's most likely?
It's possible.
See, the problem is, there's a number of problems here. One problem is you were supposed to, one problem is no real good contract. There's nothing signed by the two of you. You have this estimate as to what's supposed to be done and how much it's going to cost and when it's going to be done by, but it's not signed.
In the email, the original contract, he asked for $10,623, and we went back and forth on email and we came to the $10,300. In the first couple of pages of that email, and he accepted that, and then that was it.
But see, you don't really have a contract. You have something signed by the both of you. There's no contract then. It would be better if you had something signed between the two of you, because then you know exactly what each party is supposed to do. But you do have something in writing, even though it isn't signed. And maybe the reason why this work was supposed to be done by August 30th is because Ms. Morello knew that people were going to be storing stuff in that garage after August 30th, and she wanted the work done to avoid the problem we now have. Right?
Sure, I agree to that.
Which, kind of puts you on the hook here a little bit. Because it looks to me like you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain, which is to get the work done by August 30th. And as a result of that, you have a big disagreement about something that wouldn't have happened had the work been done by August 30th. So you leave the job, forcing her to get someone else to do the work, and now she sues you for everything she paid this other guy to do that you should have done and refused to do. And the reason why, as I said, you refused to do it is because you got in trouble here by not getting the work done. Did you see the work that was done by this other company here?
No, I
ED
was not able
Services?
to inspect the property.
let me ask you this, sir. You received a letter from Ms. Morello that I read, or at least most of which I read, detailing the work that wasn't done. As of September 30th, correct?
Correct.
Do you dispute that?
I did receive the letter.
But do you dispute that the things that she detailed in that letter were not done?
I don't have a copy of that letter, unfortunately. The computer that we were using at the time, we've since moved since then. It was corrupted with a virus and we had to get it destroyed. So I don't even have the actual bills to pull back up on that or the emails and such like that.
But you read it at some point,
I
didn't
did
you?
read that, yes, I did. As far as the itemization of that's on there, though, I can't agree to all of it. I haven't seen it.
Take a look.
I'll be glad to. I would agree that it looks like it's pretty well in order as far as the punch list of things that we agreed on that wasn't completed, but as far as the balance of money left over of $500 that was never paid to our company, as well as a company coming in and spending $4,000 on it, I would have to say the prices are probably way inflated to do the tasks that are on this list. I'm sure with the other tasks that they came in to do on there, somehow the money's been worked around to make it work that way. But as far as what's on this list here, as far as, multiple plug and switch plate covers missing, missing some trim plates, things of that nature, I can't see that being $4,000.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a construction person.
Right, there was a lot of stuff on the back end of it that explained to the homeowner because their house was in such bad condition. We literally had to put scansion poles up underneath the back of the house, which isn't even on the list of things that we've done. There's another small list of things that would have been added onto the back end of that job. But just to get the house safe for us to work in the back of it, she didn't want the city in there. She was trying to lease it out without trying to pull permits on it because I asked her who was pulling the permits, and she said, we're not pulling permits.
No, the city.
And
gave
didn't pull
us-
any permits.
I have all the permits.
Well, they weren't signed, they weren't permitted during any of that time. They weren't pulled. I don't have a builder's license, so I can't go pull a permit through the city. That's why I informed her, I don't have the ability to do that. If you want permits, you gotta get them pulled.
We
There was
never
no permits pulled through that
discussed
time.
I'm
permits.
sorry, what, ma'am?
We never discussed permits.
The defendant has a lot of excuses: missing cabinets, broken equipment, no permits. Let's see if all that is enough to keep him from paying.
Well, the work wasn't done. Work wasn't done by August 30th, and it should have been. That's what it comes down to, and that's a breach of contract. I find that this estimate is a contract, at least for purposes of this case. I would, though, advise both of you in the future, when you do this type of work, get something in writing that's signed. This is certainly a lot better than nothing, and a lot better than sometimes what I see, which again is zero. But you really want a contract signed by all the parties and dated to make it even better. But this does set forth the agreement. As I said, it was supposed to be done on, or supposed to be completed by August 30th, and it was not. And that's a breach of contract.
I would think that it'd be an improper party to the suit, Your Honor.
Well-
The team craftsman's not even listed. She can come just directly at me. I mean, that's the purpose of having a company.
Well, that's a different
So I
issue.
would think they at least need to attach that name to that.
Correct.
to
I
the
think you're
summons.
right. And this estimate, even though it's not signed by anybody, is on stationery of Team Craftsman. So it looks as if Team Craftsman is the entity that's contracted with the plaintiff in this case. So I'm going to enter a judgment of $3,000 in damages plus a $65 filing fee and a $50 service fee, bringing the total amount of the judgment to $3,150.
Besides that, besides the number that you're tallying up there, there's also a tally that's on this sheet of things that were done that weren't on the estimate that add up substantially as well.
Things that
were
what?
plus- Things that were done to the home that weren't even on the estimate, that were gonna get added to the end of the job. There's a list of those things, except, plus on the things that they're busted or missing.
That's not.
There's $2,900 worth of stuff that's extra.
But it's not part of the agreement that I can see. That's why I said get it in writing. You have something in writing here. This is what I'm gonna go by. Judgment will be $3,115, but I'm going to amend the caption of the case so that the defendant is Team Craftsman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, there's not much more to add. The judge summed it up very nicely. There was a breach of contract, so the defendant owes for the unfinished work. Now let's take a look at the case of the accidental meeting.
Mr. Bradshaw and I were involved in a car accident, and I'm asking for my $500 deductible. I have for you a copy of my repairs, my insurance declaration, my the accident report, copies of the checks for the court fees, and the mini tort letter I sent to his insurance company.
Send it all up. Describe the accident.
It was November, it was early in the morning, right after 8 o'clock on 696 heading west. I was in the far left lane. It was rush hour, so I wasn't going more than maybe 20 miles an hour. And like I said, it was rush hour, so it was pretty tight traffic. And suddenly a red truck swerved into my lane. I slammed my horn and my brakes at the same time, but wasn't able to stop, and I collided with the car. We both pulled over, waited for the state trooper to come, and then when he came, he had us both stay in the car, spoke with each of us, and then before leaving, he did come, so he took the accident report, and then he came and said to me, everyone's being cooperative. Is it okay with you if I don't issue a ticket? And Mr. Bradshaw was very kind that day. I do remember he actually even gave me his jacket. It was very cold out. And he said, you shouldn't have a problem getting your deductible back, but, because he's admitted fault, everyone's being kind in this situation. Is it okay if I don't issue a ticket? And I said, I'm completely fine with that. But when I contacted his insurance company, they said that he didn't have that type of coverage and that I would have to get my deductible back from him. So they didn't deny it. They just said he didn't have the right type of coverage that they would issue that. So my insurance AAA told me to file a claim in court. So that's what I've done.
Okay, so you're traveling westbound on I-696, correct?
Correct.
And you're in the far left lane,
Correct.
and the vehicle driven by Mr. Bradshaw impacts you on your right side somehow?
Yes, so if you see on the page 2 of the accident report, there's actually a picture that the officer drew.
Right.
So I was in the far left, and then he just came right over, and I slammed my brakes, but there wasn't enough room to stop. So the back of his truck, the bed part, is actually where the right side of my car collided with the left back, the bed part of his, is where my passenger front collided. So it took out the front headlight, the tire, part of the hood, and so the impact wasn't really fast. It was more of just because he had a big metal truck, it caused a lot of damage to my car. It had to be towed away from the scene. It wasn't drivable. And I do, if I recall correctly, I remember his story was that it was wet out. I cannot remember if it was raining at the time or if it had just stopped raining. And I believe he was swerving to get away from a vehicle.
Okay. Remember how fast you were going?
I don't remember exactly, but like I said, it was somewhere between 15 and 20 miles an hour. It was very slow. It was right in the middle of rush hour, right after 8 o'clock.
8 a.m.
Yes, 8 a.m., sorry.
Well, I suppose if you had to have an accident, you might want to run into somebody like the plaintiff because she is one nice lady. Let's see if there's any defense here.
Mr. Bradshaw, what do you have to say?
Well, yeah, it was, I think it was a little bit slick. It was raining, it was a cold morning. I was probably traveling faster than I should have been, running late for work. 696, everybody slowed down. Well, my left front tire locked up on me, and I was gonna rear end the vehicle in front of me. So I looked quickly and made my move at the same time, and just as I'm making a move, I see her. I'm like, oh, well, this is not good, but it was kind of late at that point, and I hit her. It was all my fault. I don't deny it. So, I mean, I owe her the money for the claim.
Then why are we here?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, I wish you would have just called me, because now I'm going to have to pay court costs and everything else. I'm like, well, great. Oh, and I'm losing a day at work, too. So, I mean,
Did
just
you
picked up the
ask
phone out
her?
and gave it to you. My insurance company told me I'd be responsible for it, so I was just waiting for a phone call, but.
I didn't have a phone number. I'm okay with not
He doesn't have a-
receiving court costs. But I
Okay.
didn't have
Did
a
you
phone.
call? Well, he doesn't have a phone number.
No, but the accident report didn't have a phone number on it,
You
so I
didn't- he-
wasn't sure how to
you
get.
didn't know how to get a hold of him?
No,
You didn't
sir, I
exchange
didn't.
this information at the accident
No,
scene?
sir.
The
we
state trooper
didn't.
told us, oh, okay, go in your cars, don't talk to each other, so.
Yeah, he made us sit in our cars the whole time. I believe we actually waited till the state trooper left for me to return his jacket.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Yeah.
I'm okay with not getting court costs back because I do realize.
Well, I'm okay with
that-
paying them because it shouldn't have to come out of her pocket. I'm just saying, this is like, we could have avoided all this.
Yes,
So,
I guess
And his
I,
insurance company wouldn't give me his phone number. They said they couldn't give me that information, so unfortunately, I didn't have a way to get in contact.
well, how did you know where to serve him for this court case then?
From the accident report, his address is on there.
There's
and
no way you
that's-
could have, I mean, I don't know how to do this because I'm not very good with this stuff, but isn't there a way to go on the internet and get a phone number when you have an address?
You know, I tried to, but I
Yeah.
couldn't find one. I don't know if maybe you only have a cell phone. I
yeah,
only have a cell phone.
but my parents' number's listed, same last name. I get telemarketer calls, so I know my number's not out there, but I mean, anyways, I don't know, I owe her this, whatever, I got the cash on me, let's get on with our day here.
Like I
Well-
said, I don't need the court costs back. I'm fine with that.
I guess in 16 years on the bench, this is the easiest decision I've ever had
I
to
wish
make.
we would have went first.
Judgment in favor of the plaintiff for $500. I'll waive costs. $500 is the amount. I guess you can pay her, Mr. Bradshaw, and be done with it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, have a good one.
Have a good day.
Well, there's no argument from the defendant, and he seemed just as pleasant as the plaintiff. That was a case that was simple and easy. If you find you're in a dispute that you just can't resolve, small claims court may be the answer. Thanks for watching Case Closed. I'm Tracy Perry.